I don't care what you were told. I'm taking a break. You get your questions in order and you understand how to address this court. Am I clear? Court does call the case of Anderson versus Lyman. State your appearance, please. This is the date and time set for trial.
Should I stand there, sir, or right here?
You can stand wherever you want that you'll be picked up on a microphone. Ma'am, put the microphone back where it was. It will pick you up.
Sorry about that, sir. Your Honor, my name is Lori Anderson, and I am the plaintiff and owner of the property at issue. I am here seeking a judgment for $14,606.46, which includes unpaid rent, court costs, unpaid water bill, and damages in the amount of $2,866. Ms. Amani Lyman provided false information on her rental application, including misrepresenting her residency, which influenced my decision to rent my home to her. This is not a typical landlord-tenant dispute. She has a documented history of property damage, unpaid rent, and destructive behavior, as shown in the exhibits and witness testimony I will present. I want to acknowledge that I appreciate the court's efforts in landlord-tenant cases to maintain tenancy for individuals who might otherwise be homeless. However, this case is different because it involves actual property damage and destruction, not just homelessness. If the court allows Ms. Lyman to remain a tenant, I respectfully request safeguards to protect my home, because this is the only way I will have access to my property. The defendant will not allow me into my home and does not communicate with me outside of the court. While the lease allows me access with a 24-hour notice, Ms. Lyman has denied the entry, making court-ordered inspections necessary. Therefore, I request that the court order monthly inspections at a specific time each month so that these inspections are enforceable and I can return to court if Ms. Lyman fails to comply. Monthly property inspections with Mr. Ivory Clinton present to detect smoking inside the home. Inspection is scheduled once per month on a Saturday at a specific time set by the court, preferably 10 or 11 a.m. During inspections, I request permission to take photos of the property condition. I request access to inspect the entire home, including the basement and garage. I will bring an HVAC filter to the inspection and replace it monthly as part of regular maintenance. Inspections will confirm that there are no unauthorized occupants, no further property damage, and no smoking inside the home. I ask the court to instruct Ms. Lyman to allow access to the home for myself and a licensed contractor on October 2nd to repair a crack in the basement, scheduled to start between 8 and 10 a.m. and expected to last several hours. I am also respectfully requesting that the court return 2 zip drives in my possession. I did not present any video evidence in this trial, and these drives contain precious family memories. For this reason, I ask that these videos not be included as evidence. These measures are essential to prevent repetition of past destructive behavior, ensure compliance with lease terms and local laws, and allow me reasonable access to my property. I respectfully ask the court to grant judgment of 46 cents, and if Ms. Lyman remains a tenant, to consider implementing these court-ordered protective measures to safeguard my home. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Lyman, opening statement.
Okay. So I have not been able to peacefully stay in the house. Every time I turn around, she's either down the street or have somebody watching me. So I would really like to be able to enjoy the home, which I haven't. I pay all this money to not be able to enjoy the home. I don't smoke, so there's no smoking happening on the property. There are no damages. And the judgment, that seems like a much, because she's including the rent that I had paid to you guys in escrow in the judgment. Also, I would like an addendum to the lease for my $750 that she said that she legally lied and said that she didn't know that she can put it as non-refundable because somebody else is suing her for the same $750. When I moved in May, I paid $3,300. It should have been prorated because I moved in on May 5th. So that should have been prorated $533. Plus the extra $300 that's left over from the deposit. In June, I paid an extra $200. So I ended up paying $3,500. In July and August, I paid the $3,300. The only month I owe is this month. So from
this month being September or October?
Yes, I can pay that tomorrow. The so only every month is $3,300. So the extra money, me paying the $200, prorated the $533, the extra $300 from the deposit comes up to $1,033. So I figured that I should take that from the rent and it should be $2,267.
That you owe.
Yes.
Sanderson, you may call your first witness. Is that gonna be yourself or somebody else?
Okay, should I stand there to question the witness? Where does the witness stand there?
It's up to you. Where do you want to start?
Clinton?
Me?
Your Honor, may I give this to Mr. Clinton to reference?
I don't know what it is.
It's evidence pack number 4 that I've already,
No, that's not the way it's done.
Oh.
Question him and then
okay. Mr. Clinton, how long have you known me, the plaintiff, Miss Anderson? Yeah, can you hear, hon? How he has a hearing trouble. Thank you, Mr. Clinton. Mr. Clinton, how long have you known me, the plaintiff, Miss Anderson?
1 year.
In your experience, how have you known me to maintain my home, its cleanliness, its floors, the overall condition?
Perfect.
Almost perfect? Okay. Looking at the before and after photos in Exhibit 4, did you ever see a rear screen?
Exhibit 4 hasn't been admitted. I don't know.
I have, yes, sir. I gave them all to the clerk on
It hasn't been admitted, ma'am.
the clerk. I came here on Friday and Ann, or it was Ann, she said she would give it to you. She gave it, I put it in a packet.
But
And
it hasn't been admitted.
how do I
Trial.
admit it?
Ma'am, I can't tell you that.
Okay, so,
I don't know who took the photos. I don't know when they were taken. I don't know any of that about these purported photos.
well, how can I get what I dropped off on Friday to you? So I thought you had them. I actually spent a lot of money to produce the color prints. It cost me over $20.
Ma'am, whether I have them or not doesn't mean that they've been admitted into trial. Who has to establish those photos and then attempt to try to have questioning regarding those photos.
Okay, I'll do that. Can I admit Exhibit 4 into court?
Ma'am, who took, I don't know who, there's no testimony as to who took the photos,
The
what their
professional
photos are,
of my house, the professional photos of my house, and then I took the photos of the damages.
and you need to testify about the photos.
Okay, so what, do you want me to say, go over Exhibit 4 with you?
I just want you to do the trial, but I'm not gonna just have you submit things, and I don't know if they've been presented to.
Yeah, no, I sent her all the files, all the files to the defendant.
I don't know what those files are.
The exhibits, can we, I spent a lot of money bringing the exhibits to court. And I dropped them off on Friday. She did a stamp, she put a stamp on them to give to you, and she said everything's fine, and so I thought you had the exhibits.
Maybe you're not understanding me. You can send to the court whatever you like. It doesn't make them an exhibit in the trial.
So how do I send them to be an exhibit to the trial?
I am not here to assist necessarily either side in this trial. Something the court to consider as evidence in the trial, you need to properly admit it.
So how do I properly admit the evidence, sir?
I'm not here as your lawyer, ma'am. I'm here as a judge.
Okay, so you want me to just ask him the questions then? I'll ask him the questions. Can you confirm for the court that the before photos accurately represent the condition of the property before Ms. Lyman took possession, May 5th, 2025?
Where did these photos come from?
They were photos I took when I was, after the home was prepared for sale.
Ma'am, you took the photos.
No, they were taken by a professional because they were actually put in the
Then
MLS.
How's he going to establish that?
No.
You need the
The-
professional here.
The professional photos were taken, they were put in the MLS, and then I took the damage photos.
What did I just say? Who took the photos?
The professional photos, 2 people,
Oh, goodness.
2 people. The before photos were professional photos for the home to be in the,
My question.
okay.
The photos that he just talked about, and where's the testimony about who took the photos?
They were by a professional photographer who takes photos for listing a home in the real estate MLS.
Where are they?
He has a job. I can't afford to pay him to be here. And you don't allow Zoom testimony. So, I mean, I'm doing the best I can, sir. I don't have any money.
I'm gonna tell you what, you did not make a request for that Zoom testimony.
I did.
And then
I
are you gonna keep interrupting me? Because I'm not gonna do this all day. The person that took the photos needs to testify as to those photos.
I did not know that, sir. But if he could do Zoom,
That's not my issue. I'm telling you. Yes,
I requested Zoom for 4 other witnesses and I was denied because they live out of state.
because this individual did not consent. You should have at least asked her.
She doesn't talk to me outside of court.
You know what? I am not here to solve the world's problems. Only the issue that's in front of me. Did you make the request of her to have these?
She doesn't, I sent an
Did you
email.
make the request?
No,
Okay.
but she does not talk
That's
to
an
me.
answer to my question. Clinton, how often were you at that property?
Before or now?
Before. Well, let's just ask this. How many times have you been to that property?
Or 110?
What's your relationship to Miss Anderson?
From the start, well, we've been friends for about 20-some years.
What is the relationship now?
We're still friends.
Mr. Clinton, were you present in the district court on August 15th when Miss Gloria Vanderwell testified in front of Judge Washington regarding 6285 Maplehurst Drive?
It's hearsay. Don't answer the question.
Did you see photos showing 2 bathtubs with running water left?
Where? Did he see photos where?
In Exhibit 6 that show the damage she did to Miss Lyman did to the Maplehurst property. They were
To whose property?
to her prior residence. He's seen the damage to her prior residence.
Were you there and saw the damage?
No, saw pictures.
I'm not going to allow it.
Even though it was in court that it was presented?
What did I just say?
Okay. Well, I'm learning, sir. Forgive me. Did you see the final water bill from Ypsilanti Township showing a final water bill for the Maplehurst property of $3,153.69 during Miss Lyman's tenancy at 6285 Maplehurst?
Why am I talking about Maplehurst?
I thought it showed evidence of damage to prior property.
I don't. Have you ever been to Maplehurst, sir?
No.
Do you have personal knowledge of anything regarding that Maplehurst property?
No.
Okay, there's no further questions for Mr. Clinton.
Any cross-examination, Mr. Slaney? Any questions you have for him? No? Thank you, sir. You may step down.
And he's also Air Force, sir.
Other witnesses.
Miss Lyman?
Lyman, come on up.
Okay, this is going to be questions about the lease. Isn't it true that you were late paying rent for July, August, and September?
Paying the rent to the court.
I know, but you were late on those days that you paid the rent. Are you aware that partial rent payments are not accepted under this lease?
On the lease, she said I can deposit a check into.
Partial meaning like you couldn't just pay half of it one day and half of it the other. It all has to be paid at one time.
That recognition.
Was that a question?
No, I'm making her,
Question?
no, I was making her aware of that.
You need to ask her a question.
Okay, are you aware that if rent and late fees are not paid, I plan to issue a 7-day notice on the 5th of the month and file it with the court on the 12th going forward, and you will be expected to pay the court cost.
What's the relevance?
That's just,
Question.
it's a question just to
What's
make
the relevance of that question?
that going forward, if she still remains my tenant, I plan to be on top of it as far as rent. If it's not paid, I will issue a 7-day notice.
What bearing does that have with anything the court has to decide today?
Okay, sorry, strike that one. Under your lease, only you, the named tenant, are permitted to reside in the home without my written consent, correct? Isn't it true that your uncle and 3 children have been observed living at the property by several neighbors?
No, just because somebody see people come over doesn't mean that.
Are you aware that my former tenant, Gabriella Anderson, died in Ypsilanti Township?
What's the relevance of that?
I have a history of a tenant dying in my property
What's that? Why do I need to know that?
because it shows why it's important to have access to a home. As a landlord, if somebody dies, I need to have
Does
access to
she
the home.
know that? And
I-
if she does, what's the relevance of that in whatever her answer is?
I'm making her aware that the reason why it's
This is
important,
not a proceeding for you to make her aware of things or what your expectations are.
okay. I was explaining,
You don't have to answer the question, go to your
Okay.
next one.
okay. Will you allow my licensed contractor, Affordable Dry Basements, to enter on October 2nd to repair the basement crack?
I don't know anything about a licensed contractor.
I sent an email to you at Armani Lyman.
You send a lot of emails, so I most likely didn't see it, but that's not a good day.
Well, I
You
can,
also mentioned that they could come in the spring, so.
yeah, but I don't want it to go through winter. I don't want it to go through winter. The crack is just getting worse, sir. I want to get it done before winter because
Are
they can't.
you going to ask a question?
I want to ask her when I can schedule Affordable Dry Basements to enter to do the repair in the basement. It's leaking now, sir. So we won't pass the certificate.
Why are you talking? You were supposed to be asking questions.
Okay, when will you allow my licensed contractor to repair the crack in the basement?
Next spring, like you mentioned before.
Okay, what month? Can I ask a question, sir? Of you? Because the crack is getting worse and it's damaging my property. It needs to be
That's a
repaired.
statement.
It needs to be repaired.
That's another statement. What's your question?
My question is, I need to, my lease states that I can go in and make repairs with a 24-hour notice. So she's going against my lease by not allowing me to go in.
Okay, once again, a statement. You asked, can I ask you a question?
So can I ask the court to enforce my lease? Can I ask the court to enforce my
You
lease?
can ask the court to do whatever you want. Whether I do it or not becomes a whole other issue.
Even though it's damaging my property.
Next question.
Have you paid the water bill for May 5th through August 31st, totaling $1,471.87?
I'm sorry, say that again.
The water bill is in my name. I have worked something out with them already.
Okay, because may I make a comment to the court? If the water bill, okay,
This is testimony.
okay. Yeah, as a landlord, they sent me a shut-off notice.
Oh, for Pete's sakes. Why do I keep getting comments from you and not questions?
Okay, the question was, did you pay the DTE bill that was subject to shut-off?
Answered.
Did you paid it?
No.
This is the next question. Do you plan to keep the home above 50 degrees this winter as required by the lease? Are you aware that you will be held liable for any frozen pipe damage beyond your security deposit resulting from temperatures below freezing or winter shutoff? Huh?
I am now.
Thank you. Will you arrange for the repairs of the torn screen, broken blinds, torn down insulation and oil stains in the driveway by a professional contractor?
I already told you last quarter that the following installation has been put up. The screen is on the checklist. The lines will get fixed. And the oil stains are really invisible.
But they're still there. So it will
Is
require,
that a question?
well, so she's,
Or are you just going to argue with her?
okay. So you don't want to go abide by the lease.
That's, she doesn't have to answer that.
Okay. Do you understand that if smoke odor is detected and smoke damage is documented, repainting and remediation of the entire home may be required at an estimated cost of approximately $10,000?
What, really? Where does that come from?
3,000 square feet would cost.
Where does that come from?
I'm just making her aware about smoke damage.
Why?
Okay, sorry, strike
Why?
it.
Where
Strike it,
does
sir.
that come from?
I've been quoted $10,000 to paint that house.
By whom?
Contractor, because it's a large house and smoke will sink into the paint.
I don't know anybody named Contractor.
Nicholas Blake, licensed
Is
contractor.
he here to testify?
No,
Then I don't want any questions about any quote he's given.
okay,
That's hearsay.
okay, sorry,
Next
sir.
question.
Yes, sir. Cameras and alterations, line number 20 on the lease. Did you install an exterior camera without written consent of the landlord?
Yes, but I did tell you I was getting antique. And also the first court date, you said you had no problems with the cameras, so what's the problem?
I didn't authorize installation. I never said I didn't. No, no. I just said,
Yes, you did.
the prior court date, I said as a compromise, I would accept it, but I'm just going over what she violated. I thought we
Okay, so
wanted,
she installed cameras
Okay,
and
okay.
installed the security
that's
system.
all I wanted,
All
just
right.
get confirmation. Are you, okay, can I ask this question?
I don't know.
I know I'm upsetting you. I'm sorry,
You're
sir.
not upsetting me.
I'm not a
You're
lawyer.
wasting my time,
Okay.
but you're not upsetting.
Okay, are you aware you will need to refill the holes and repair the siding damage by that occurred when you installed the camera? When you leave, you'll have to do those repairs, fill in those holes from the camera.
Under the terms of the lease, she has to restore the premises back to a reasonable condition as she got it. I think everybody knows that. Do you understand that, Ms. Lemon?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Next
sir.
question.
Have the hedges been trimmed as required by HOA rules? Do you plan on getting them trimmed so that I don't get a fine from HOA?
Have you gotten a fine?
Not yet, but they've said.
Okay.
Okay. Did you have two inoperative and or unregistered vehicles on the property?
The vehicles were,
Okay. Did those vehicles cause oil stains in the driveway? Okay. Do you plan on hiring a professional contractor to remove these oil stains?
the oil stains are really there.
On May 5th, 2025, rental application, you listed your current address as 90 Drive, correct? Okay. At the time, you were actually residing at 85 Maplehurst Drive, where eviction proceedings were pending, correct? You were residing somewhere else that you didn't put on the application as your current address. No, it said current.
Does Maplehurst have to do with Shady Court?
Because you were being evicted, I based my decision to rent to you. They started eviction proceedings in January of 25. I was not made aware of that when I rented my home to you. Did you disclose that the pending eviction of your true address to me before moving in? Did you disclose that address to me before moving?
Was she required to?
Yes, the application said, where's your current residence? So I could follow up with the landlord of that residence.
That was not your question.
You
asked her whether or not she disclosed an eviction.
Yeah,
On the application, does it indicate, have you been evicted?
Yes, there's a section in there, any prior evictions on the application.
All right. At the point in time she applies, has she been evicted?
There were eviction proceedings.
Is that what the question asks?
No, it says, have you been evicted?
Thank you.
Oh, sir.
So that case had not concluded. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Then if you're saying that she misled you, your question is bad.
Well, but
because it has been all this morning.
Okay, but she didn't disclose where her
You want to
address
argue
was.
with me?
No, honey, I'm sorry.
She doesn't have to answer that question, or actually she answered the question.
Please confirm, do you regularly monitor or respond to your phone you listed on your application? Well, I guess that would be no, because
Well, are you going to answer it, or are you going to let her answer?
Okay, sir. You falsified the application, so you committed.
That's a conclusion.
If she said her current address was 99.
It's a conclusion. Get to your next question.
Okay. Do you admit that the address you provided on your application was false? Do you understand that providing false information on rental application is considered fraud?
Well, don't answer that. That's a legal conclusion you're asking.
I've been doing my Google searches, sir, and this is what I come up.
Well, then bring Google.
Is she typing all this, sir? Was I given?
You know what?
I'm just asking.
You know what? You know what? I'll tell you what. I'm taking a break. You get your questions in order, and you understand how to address this court. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Have a seat. You may step down. Court is.
All right. State spell your first and last name, record, please.
Go ahead, man.
Is it true that you told me Ivory Clinton was your domestic partner? Is it true that you have been showing outsiders pictures of me containing my personal information?
No.
Is it true that a prior tenant is also suing you for their $750 declining deposit.
No.
Can I just stop here? The $750 is listed as non-refundable, but you are indicating that it's refundable provided the conditions are met.
This case is a perfect example of how courtroom outcomes aren't just about what you say, but how you say it. The landlord may have had legitimate concerns about rent, damages, and lease violations, but failing to properly introduce evidence, asking irrelevant questions, and repeatedly ignoring courtroom procedure weakened her position dramatically. On the other side, the tenant focused on simple, direct responses, letting the judge control the flow. And in court, that often makes all the difference. If you found this case as intense as it was instructive, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think handled this better? And don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.